Giving you the real from A to Z surrounding the Dallas Cowboys. News, updates, rumors, transactions, takes, and more. So strap up, Cowboys Nation, and start your day off with A to Z Sports. Live with Will Steele.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go. Good morning, good people. Welcome to A to Z Sports Live. We are streaming live on this Thursday on YouTube. Of course, I am your host, Will Skywalker. Steel. Boom. We live on this Thursday, y'all. Switching it up today. We're going to talk about the Cowboys' impending free agents. We're going to dive into all 16 of them. Who should stay? Who should go? Got a little game we're going to play with it, so stick around. I'll explain that a little bit later. In the roundup, more coaching news. It continues to circulate. It hasn't quite affected it. Actually, it did affect the Cowboys, but we hope we will hear something from our own here shortly. But it's a very heavy coaching-driven news cycle over the last week or so in the NFL, as it normally is during this time period. No free agencies going on, signings or whatnot. But it feels a little slower to me this year. I don't know. Maybe it's because there's still some coaches that are left in the playoffs. Who knows? But they're starting now to move. We've got a big one that landed over there in L.A. we'll talk about. And we're still waiting on what happens here with the Dallas Cowboys and Dan Quinn. No Pat today. We'll get Pat on tomorrow. We kind of switched things up a little bit, but we still will have Pat this week. But what's good, Bomb Squad?
Bomb Squad!
How y'all doing this morning, man? Like I said, switching it up a little bit. When we do our review of the free agents, it's going to be a light show. This is not really going to be anything too crazy. We'll talk to y'all if you want, 351-999-3787. And we're going to go from 1 to 16, 16 to 1, whatever. We're kind of going to bounce around a little bit. But we're going to talk about all 16 of these free agents. And for the most part, why I believe somebody should return or why they shouldn't. But go switch it up a little bit. If we do deem them coming back,
Run that back, Turbo.
you'll hear that. If not, you'll hear that. So we'll play some Run That Back or Nah with you guys a little bit later after the roundup. All right? Fair enough? Good to go? Let's do it, Cowboys Nation.
3.
No, we don't want that. Come on, producer.
It's time! It's time! It's time! It's time! It is time for...
It's time for the morning roundup. Round 'em up, boys.
By the way, I forgot to hit y'all with the Bomb Squad, didn't I?
Bomb Squad!
Appreciate y'all. So, looks like we got a little bit of coaching news that dropped yesterday over in L.A. Jim Harbaugh officially, it's official now, Cowboys Nation, officially will be the head coach of the L.A. Chargers. I think this is a quality hire. I talked about this on, I believe it was Twitter. And, you know, a little bit of me. No, why can't I? There we go. A little bit of me was, I don't want to say disappointed, the word. But I thought Jim Harbaugh could have been a potential candidate. Now, the Cowboys have already obviously said they're keeping Coach Mike McCarthy, so he never was a real one. But I felt like Jim could have came here and definitely been a culture shifting type of head coach, and I think he will do that for the Chargers. It just made sense for him, right? You got a quarterback, you've got a lot of talent over there. Will it take a year? Possibly, but I saw him take a 3-13 team in San Francisco and go like 13-3 the very first year, and 3 NFC championship games, a Super Bowl in 4 seasons. So, you know, Jim Harbaugh knows what the hell he's doing. 100%. good. I'm happy for the Chargers fans, right? They kind of needed this type of guy to come over there and hopefully re-energize that organization. And that's what I think he'll do. I don't know how soon, but they got a good one. We still haven't heard anything, other coaching news, anything on Dan Quinn until this morning. He will be having his second interview with the Seahawks, so maybe we'll hear something on Dan Quinn. But hopefully we hear something soon because, again, the longer you wait, the more these other assistants are being hired. And I don't know, man. You kind of miss out on certain guys, but that's something we'll talk about with Pat tomorrow. What else? Ben Johnson has been rumored to be the next guy in Washington, which I hate that because I like Ben Johnson. You know how I feel about him. I think he's a quality offensive guy. And if you look at what Washington is doing, new ownership, they got San Francisco 49ers assistant general manager, and they could possibly have one of the best young offensive minds going right now in Ben Johnson leading the way. Don't like that. Nah, I don't like that. Now, it still is Washington, right? So, but it's different ownership, so I don't know if I can look at them the same way. That's all. You used to look over there and say, Dan Snyder, the owner? Nah, we're good. Ain't the case no more, man. And when you look at some of these terrible owned teams for, decades, right? The Bengals, what happened with him? Their owner, he stepped back and said, you know what? Y'all got this. And then they became a formidable franchise. Detroit Lions, their ownership stepped back and look what they're starting to do. And now you got Washington. We'll see what happens with Washington. They've sold their franchise to a different owner. And look, I think the San Francisco 49er assistant general manager hire is a good one. Copycat league. And Ben Johnson, if he does become the head coach, I think that's a good one too. 100%. The other coaching news that kind of hit the waiver wire yesterday, or the news wire, I should say, that shocked the NFL, and then like right after it dropped, more news dropped on it. Vic Fangio and the Miami Dolphins mutually parted ways. And Vic is on his way to Philly right now to sign the contract to be the defense coordinator. Couple things here. Fangio wanted to be the defensive coordinator this past season for the Eagles when Gannon left. They decided to go with Desai, and Fangio went and left for Miami. He has family. He's from PA. Has family in PA. He wants to be closer with his family, so he wants to go back to Philly, right? Miami. Well, why would he leave Miami? They put together a good defense when Jalen Ramsey got back. They strung together a really good defense, right? Yes, they did. But doing some digging, Vic wasn't a likable guy. And y'all know how I feel about Vic. I'm a Vic Fangio fan. I love his scheme. I think he puts together quality defenses if you have the room to do so. Let me say this real quick, though. For Phillies, I'm not mad that Vic is going to Philly. I'm mad that Vic could have been a guy that could have came here, I thought. Now, knowing that he wants to be in Philly, there's that. I don't think the Eagles currently, as it stands, they have the back seven to even, make his defense work that great. Let's remember, he was an assistant on that Eagles defense that Dak destroyed last year at the crib. And if you look at Miami, because a lot of people are saying, Vic is the kryptonite to Dak Prescott. And I say, well, he drove right down the field on that Vic Fangio defense, healthy Vic Fangio defense last year or this past season with Chuma Edoga at left tackle and no running game, and scored the go-ahead touchdown, not to mention another touchdown wiped off the board because his fullback fumbled. So while it wasn't the cleanest game, he basically won you the game against Vic Fangio's defense, by the way. So it's not about, oh my God, Vic Fangio's going to Philly, the blueprint, and yada, yada. That's not even that for me. I don't think the Eagles currently, as it stands, has the secondary to make it work. One of the things that I've said to you guys here on this channel about Vic's defense is that if he has the dudes in the back end, he can make for a really good defense. I don't think that's the case. I think their secondary is hot garbage. I think their linebackers are trash. I just don't think they have those guys. Now, we know one thing about the Eagles. They'll go out and sign guys in free agency, and they'll make moves to be aggressive in the draft. So maybe they will get those guys. But it was more, for me, the frustration is more that, man, he could have been a candidate here, and I thought that he did have the guys here or would have had the guys here in Dallas, right? I think he's got the pass rush. You add some linebackers in free agency. I think he's definitely got the secondary guys with Diggs and Bland, potentially bringing back other dudes. I think he had the dudes to really run a quality defense here. That was the frustrating part for me. But it quickly went away when I found out why he wanted to go to Philly. From the PA area, family's there. I totally get it. He wanted to coach there. But unless Philly upgrades their secondary, whatever. Pretty much how I look at it. How y'all feeling about Vic going over there, man? I know there was initially, and you're going to get that pushed in the media on Twitter and whatnot. Oh, Blueprint Fangio. Oh, my God. He's Dak's kryptonite because of what he did in Denver. I don't think you can say that after last year. Yeah, it was a weird in-between period from that second and third quarter. But he drove drove right down the field on that Vic Fangio defense and scored a game-winning touchdown. Had 105 quarterback rating, 2 tutties, no picks. He didn't even throw a, what do they call it, a turnover-worthy play in that game with Chume Doga at left tackle and no running game. So I'm going to be honest. If he wants to go to Philly and they don't upgrade that linebacker room and that secondary, I don't give a damn about no damn Blueprint. I don't. The secondary is hot garbage. Linebacker room's hot garbage. Now, what I care about is what do we do? It's about us. You know, if we go out there and we talk about being stagnant and being scary and all this other stuff, then hell, Joe Barry's defense can do something against you. So it's more about what we do, in my opinion. Greg said the guy's 65. Well, we know that age in this league really, I shouldn't say doesn't matter. Like, getting to the people, the players matter. But I mean, there's a lot of older coaches that still get to these players and have success. But he is a no-nonsense guy, wasn't a likable guy down there. Some players, and that's the thing about these players, y'all. That's the thing about these players. It's a new age. And I don't know, maybe I sound like an old man, but they can't, some of them can't take the coaching. Some of them do want the coaching, but I think those that want the coaching come from a different era. But you know, reading between the lines, some articles about Vic's departure, there was some young players that just wasn't feeling it, even though I thought he put together a quality defense. Vic looks like he can't use a TV remote. Yeah, he one of them old. But hey, man, I think he has they call it the Fangio 6. I think he has a quality scheme, but I think it requires specific players. It requires quality DBs and smart DBs. And if you don't have those and you need linebackers that can cover too, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. All right, let's talk about our free agents. Again, if you guys just jumped up in here, I'm going to play a little game of Run That Back.
Run that back, Turbo. Nah.
Or nah. Easy game. 16 free agents, going to go through them all, break it in half a little bit. Ain't a whole lot of guys that I think actually come. In fact, I think this year's free agent class for the Cowboys, easy, man. I don't think there's a lot of difficult decisions. Nope. I don't think you're going to miss a whole lot of these players. So let's talk about it. I'm probably going to jump around a little bit. I'm not going to stick to this order. I'm going to jump around. I'm going to start backwards, though, and speak on the position that we talked about yesterday. And by the way, we're going to still do our breakdown of each position, hindsight 2023 series. So we'll go in more depth on certain guys once we get to that position. Some of these guys we've already attacked. Number 1, Sean McEwen. Y'all know how I feel. I talked about this yesterday. But again, I'm going to run this thing back in regards to Sean McEwen. Do you want to bring back Sean McEwen? or no Sir Bobski? For me,
No.
nah. Good here. I'm good here on Sean McEwen. Now, the only way I see this being a situation where you bring back Sean McEwen is if they, hey, we need an extra body for camp. Hey, call him camp body. Hey, we need 5, 6, 7, whatever tight ends for camp. I'm going to sign him to a vet minimum deal, but Sean is not somebody I'm really worried about. I go through the rest of my free agency, and if Sean McEwen is a free agent, come camp time and we need extra body in here, hey, just call him up or whatnot. But yeah, I'm not really pressed on bringing back Sean McEwen. So I'm going to say no Sir Bobski on Sean McEwen. 3 consecutive seasons. He did play 100 snaps. Not a guy that's catching a lot of passes. Not a guy that's like this amazing run blocker. He quite literally is just a tight end 4 that if somebody gets hurt, they bring him in here. You can find tight end 4s anywhere. He played 100 snaps exactly, went on IR. In fact, I don't think nothing was wrong with him. I just think they hit him with the your ankle hurt because we got Peyton Hendershot coming back. When you get sent to the bench for Peyton Hendershot, that's all I'm saying. All right, next up, Trent Sieg. Here's what's weird about Trent Sieg. And again, Pro Bowl, I get it, y'all. It don't mean nothing. How you send our kicker as an all-pro and Pro Bowler, our punter as a Pro Bowler, I don't know if he's all-pro, but you leave out our long snapper. How you do that? Man, look.
Run that back, Turbo.
I'm running that back. 100% running that back with Trent Sieg. Do y'all remember a terrible snap? I don't. Why wouldn't you bring him back? Now, one thing about him, he's pretty funny on social media. He was, pushing for the Pro Bowl, and look, we may scoff at it, but if they go to the Pro Bowl, they get that extra check, And he's a long snapper. Long snappers ain't getting that bread like that. So, and he had a funny, campaign trying to get to the Pro Bowl, but I'm 100% running that thing back. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. And look, he's a long snapper for your Pro Bowl All-Pro kicker, and he's a long snapper for your Pro Bowl All-Pro punter. Yeah, you bring that trio back. You don't mess that up. Now, you don't mess that up.
No.
That's what I'll say. That you bring Trent Sieg back. Noah Igbenogany, or if you are a fan of the pregame show, Noah Ignactive. Yeah, I'm out on that one.
No.
I'm good. Let's go ahead. X marks the spot right here, man. Y'all feeling about Noah? I mean, this is... Got nothing against the guy, but... No. I'm really nothing else. just no. Cornerback is a position I'm definitely looking at in the draft and obviously in free agency if you can find some other quality ones, which we'll get to here in a second. I'm just going to move forward. No, there's really no need to really spend much time on. CJ Goodwin, I'm going to make this one.
Run that back, Turbo.
Run that back. 100%. I am running that back with CJ Goodwin. Low key, wasn't he missed? And this is what I mean by low key. I get that they had Sam Williams out there at camp, but I don't think Sam Williams would have been out there if CJ was going, full time. Who else? Tolbert was out there, and look, I like Tolbert, but there were certain times where it was weird seeing Tolbert running down there. I think it was Philip Tanner who was talking about some things they were doing. But CJ Goodwin always, every year, we're not we, because I'm a big CJ Goodwin fan. It's cost you nothing to have him on your special team. In my opinion, he's our Slater. If y'all don't know what I'm talking about the probably would be a Hall of Fame special teamers from the New England Patriots. It costs you nothing. He's still one of the fastest guys on the team, according to the players down there. He's smart. He understands the game. That is he perfected special teams. Everybody wanted to kick him off the bridge, and then when he got hurt, you were worse off. You saw so many penalties. You saw guys running into each other. It was sloppy more often than it was smooth. And when CJ was out there, you really didn't see a whole lot of that. So I'm 100% bringing back CJ Goodwin. Until he's ready to hang him up, it really costs you nothing here. You know what I'm saying? It costs you nothing to bring back CJ Goodwin. He's, to me, I mean, I'm biased a little bit, Cowboys Nation, not keep it to me. I don't know everybody else's special team guys, but I know he's our ace. Our ace. 100% you bring him back. Last one here before I hit the phone lines. This one is interesting. Jordan Lewis, who finished the season strong, filled in admirably for, when I say filled in, let's bring context here. Trayvon Diggs goes down. Jordan Lewis starts off as a fourth corner on the team. Trayvon goes down. They move DeRon Bland out to the slot, or out to the boundary, and then Jordan Lewis steps in the slot. Here's the thing, though.
No.
Wait, what? What did you say, Sky? I said,
No.
I know, y'all. I was one of the guys saying, hey, man, look, this is your fourth corner playing like your fourth corner. He's filled in. He's a veteran. It's fine. That does not mean I'm going to re-sign him. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean I want to throw the bag at him or anything like that. If Jordan Lewis wants to come back for nothing, I mean, sure, but this is my reasoning to why not. And actually, I have to do the next one. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and do the next one. Stephon Gilmore.
Run that back, Turbo.
That's mainly why. And then I'm going to get on the phone lines. I don't foresee Gilly and J. Lou returning. I don't even know if I would do that. So it's a matter of pick between the two. And if I'm picking between the two, I'm definitely picking Stephon Gilmore. And I'd imagine Stephon Gilmore's not going to cost you a whole lot. And here's why. I feel like you got to bring back one of these dudes. Trayvon Diggs is returning from an ACL injury. If I bring back Steph, I can put DeRon Bland back in the slot, where I think DeRon Bland is uber elite. Now, DeRon Bland had a fantastic year on the boundary. He's one of those dudes, kind of like Tyler Smith. I could move him anywhere. But if I bring back Stephon Gilmore, I can still draft a guy that I can bring along. If Diggs is not ready, if Steph gets hurt, whatever, he's right there for me. And you're not bringing back Stephon Gilmore in a long-term deal. You're bringing him back for one more year. Let's see if we can run this back and get this ring. So if I got Stephon Gilmore, Diggs on the outside, like I had to start the season, DeRon Bland on the inside, I've got my three guys. And then I draft me a corner at some point. Maybe you sign a veteran corner better than J. Lou. I don't know. But if I bring back J. Lou and not Stephon Gilmore, yeah, I got DB and I got Diggs on the outside, but I don't really have any insurances. If Diggs is, hey, what if he has to go on PUP? What if he's not ready? I don't got any insurances just yet. And if the insurance is that rookie corner, second round pick, third round pick, late first round pick, that could take some time. So I'd rather go with Stephon Gilmore on what I don't think would be a big contract. Now, you say, well, Sky, it's going to cost you $15 million, something like that. No. You can go. But I don't think it'll cost that much. I think you can get Stephon back for a good price. 1 year deal, maybe like a 2 year situation where you can get it out on, in the second year for no problem. You know how they do, moving around money and whatnot. But yeah, so no on J. Lou. Not no disrespect to J. Lou. I thought coming back from an injury, did a fantastic job. Yes, on Stephon Gilmore. So first part of this, I'm out on Sean McEwen, Noah Igbenogany, and J. Lou. I'm in on Trent Sieg, CJ Goodwin, Stephon Gilmore. Sky wants Nashon over J. Lou. Willie T.
Okay, so then, now, when does crack? Now, so the cocaine's happening. When does that crack come into play for you?
Nashon, right? When does that cocaine? I mean, the cocaine's happening. kidding me, dude? If it's between J. Lou and Nashawn Wright, I'm taking J. Lou. What are you talking about? Nashawn Wright's not a free agent. Cowboy Mike, good morning, sir.
What's going on, Skywalker?
How you doing, brother?
Man, I want to talk about these free safeties, man. It seems like when they get mismatches, speed-wise, we cannot keep up in space with fast receivers. Curse, what do you think on Curse, man? What do we need to do?
Oh, well, I'm going to put a pin in that because we'll get to Curse here, so I don't want to give that away. But
Hooker. We can talk about Hooker, too.
Yeah, Hooker going to be here. He just signed a contract. I don't mind Hooker. I think Hooker played the roof fine this year. He was put in a ridiculous he shouldn't be playing. When I say nobody really should be playing that much goddamn single high man cover one in today's game. I mean, that is so, I don't say easy, but it can be easy to game plan against in today's league. But I don't really have a problem with Malik Hooker. I actually think he was your most consistent safety on the team. But yeah, J-Ron, we're going to get to J-Ron here soon. Look, let's be honest. Y'all know how I feel. I think we should move along. So there you go. That's my version of no. But yeah, no, I'm no on J-Ron. We'll talk about him more, but I'd probably. I think you got the guys in the room. I don't think you need to really draft a dude. I think Juan Ye, and we'll get to breaking down the whole room in depth.
Oh,
Juan
Ye, I didn't even think about him.
Yeah, I mean, you got Juan Ye. If you move Izzy back to free safety, he can do some free things. Yeah, I think you got the Bell, right? Bell's really a safety. I think you got the athleticism, the speed, the guys to do it. Maybe politics. I don't know, bro. But for whatever reason.
Right, you just got to shore up that rotation, man. Open up the competition maybe in training camp.
Well, I think you're going to get it because I think when J-Ron's gone, now it's going to be a fight for that spot. And I think it really should be a spot that they say, here's the pool stick, breaking the half, only one man wins. Like that should be an open competition.
But me, man, I think the most spot we need to focus on is the two spots. For me, is offensive lineman and a downhill linebacker.
Yeah, 100%, man. I mean, that's going to be a reoccurring theme here between now and free agency and then draft season. Is, I usually do a list of my top, needs pre-draft and then my top needs post-draft. And right now, linebacker, offensive line are definitely high up there.
Yes, most definitely. And one more thing, man. Have you heard anything on Overshown and his recovery?
Just that it's going as normal. I mean, if you guys remember, after he got hurt, he had surgery. They took I'm no doctor, right? But they took some stuff from one of the knees, put it in the other knee, and he's out there. He was on the cords at some point. They took a picture of him on the cords. Him and John Stevens Jr. Is it John Stevens Jr.? Yeah, John Stevens Jr. They both were working on the cords. So, I'd imagine it's coming along fine, but it's an ACL, right? You just don't know until you get out there. We saw with Brillo how it took him a year. I forgot about bringing up Brillo yesterday. Brillo, Tristan Hill, Terrence Steele, Michael Gallup. It's an ACL, man. They're tough.
You mentioned Stevens, and that made me think of Brooks because they're the same kind of rangy, quick, fast guys, but I really like Brooks too, the wide receiver.
Oh, yeah. When he came in the games this year, you saw his size, his strong hands, big possession type wide receiver. He could be, well, I don't know how he is as a blocker, but
he reminds me of a young Ocho Cinco. You remember how Ocho Cinco used to have first step, man, he get off the line and it's like he's
y'all
quick.
Crazy. Y'all crazy.
I'm serious, man. Look at the dude's frame.
Crazy, man.
I'll say baby Ocho right now.
Boy, hey, that's an interesting one. What I was going to say, I was just thinking about who's still playing right now, right? I was thinking about a guy like Jawan Jennings, a very obscure wide receiver for the Niners, who's like wide receiver 4 or whatever, but he's big, strong, physical. He just makes a play when you don't expect it. He's blocking his ass off. If we could turn Brooks into like a Jawan Jennings, that's a home run for a 7th round pick.
And man, even looking at the playoffs, looking at all the teams except Kansas City's wide receiver core, they kind of struggling. But Baltimore, their 4 and 5 guys will beat you.
I don't think receiver room was our problem. Maybe the deployment of them or whatever, but I don't think we lack talent in the receiving room at all. I think there'd be a lot of teams that would gladly take that receiving room on the, in the league. But so I don't think we lack the talent.
Man, you're right.
You know,
it's only one rock out there.
Only one rock.
Everybody can't see it. But yeah, man, I'll take the rest off the air, man. But man, it took me a while, man. I love the Cowboys, bro. But this time, I had to really take a step back. I mean, I didn't watch nothing, listen to nothing for a couple of days, because, man, I coach basketball. We talked about this before. But I had this rule, no matter what happens during the game, we don't talk about anything for 24 hours. But this time, it took me 48, bro, to 72. Because this, man.
We had therapy for a whole week. And we still getting some left over there. The line's long, so we still getting some. But we had therapy all week last week.
I didn't even tune in to you. I was like, man, I just got to step back.
Listen, brother, I do not blame you. When that happened, I didn't watch no sports show for a long time. I'm still not really watching any at this point. I'll catch some.
And the main reason for me, man, is I'm a disciplinarian and accountability guy. And there's something going on, man. We got to get somebody in here to hold people accountable because we're not prepared.
Well, brother, when
we are not prepared when we play in the playoffs.
When the head of your table is not held accountable, that will trickle down.
Yeah, it's like me at my job. Hey, I can be fired, but my boss can't, and my boss. He makes all the decisions. He can't fire himself if he's doing a horrible job. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, we're in a bad spot, bro. Yeah. But, man, I appreciate what you do, man. I'm going to get off here, get on the grind.
Yes, sir.
Y'all be easy, man. It's draft time. Now we can get into this rebuild, man, and just get back on the wagon.
Back on it, brother. Appreciate you, Cowboy Mike.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you.
All right, let's get Los real quick, and then we're going to jump back into the free agents. What's up, Los?
Good morning, Sky, man. And you know what? I'm still not over. I'm still in therapy session, man.
Yeah,
I don't know, man. It's just inexcusable. And just a quick note is I don't know if you saw it, but shout out to Brian Broaddus for bringing all of our Cowboys fandom of how the organization is run to light because, hey, we can't do anything about it. We're just fans talking about the team we love. So that's that. So I'll give you this, guy.
Shouts out to B. That's my guy. We've been saying that for years. No, this is not a knock on him. He has the platform, so it's good now that it's getting the traction. But guys, we've been talking about that on this show since y'all met me. So it's nothing new what he was saying, in my opinion. I just hope that what he did say reaches out to that organization and maybe they move differently. But whatever.
Exactly, Sky. That's all I can hope for. But I'll make it 2 quick points, man. And talking about this team, we all know that this team has to catch lightning in a bottle to do anything in the playoffs, especially health-wise, because I feel like Gilly going down during the playoffs, because I don't know if they were lying, but my concern in that playoff game was, man, I don't know if Gilly's 100%. And sure enough, he was battling, I don't know what, one shoulder out there, playing with one shoulder, and we couldn't do anything to adjust
they reported it, going into the game. They reported that he was playing with the bum shoulder, though. So that shouldn't have came as a surprise, right?
Yeah, and exactly. But my thing is all right, what are we going to do? I know we can't play man, so what are we going to do to help out Gilly? Nope, we're just playing nickel all day long and let Green Bay throw all over us. So I'm just, hey, no adjustment. But I just know that for this team to do anything, it's got to be 100% healthy. And, I just feel like this team has to catch this has to be I don't know. I don't even think coaching. I think coaching is the issue, but I think health-wise, this team has to have basically a backup plan because it seems like when push comes to shove, there's no backup plan for when Tyron goes out, if Gailey's hurt, if Bland goes down. We just need someone. We just need something. I don't know. I'm just frustrated, Scott. I'm just. Sorry, I'm just talking out my you-know-what, but I'm just frustrated, man. I'm just frustrated as a fan because, there's so many things we can do to improve a team, and we just got to do it. And that's all I got. Sorry if I make no
good,
sense
man.
this morning, but yeah,
No,
I'm just
no,
frustrated.
we got a good Los quote right there. There's so many things that we need to do. We just got to do it. I love it.
All right, man.
Appreciate
Peace,
you,
guys.
Los. Hey, man. Los, hey, look. The crazy thing is, as simple as that sounds, it's true. Los said, man, so many things we got to do. We just got to do it. Yo, that's crazy. We're about to get that on a shirt. Appreciate you, Los. What did he say the other day? Hey, man, when they know we're going to pass, better pass good. They know we're going to run. God damn it. You better run better. With the heat, low key. Simple, but true. I don't even think Lowe's be noticing either, though. Let's get back to it. The reason why I didn't want to go in Cowboy Mike on J-Ron Curse, because there go J-Ron Curse right there. Let's just talk about it. This seems like it's going to be a consensus. J-Ron Curse, we going to run that thing back, or
No.
it's a nah for me. Can I throw something out there at y'all real quick? I was thinking about this when I was setting up this show. And this is going to sound kind of up. But I think J-Rod Curse up our defense. I think he did. Like, hold on, wait a minute, because I'm not saying J-Ron Curse is the reason why, I'm not trying to solely put the game on J-Ron. Like that. This is what I mean. Follow me. When DQ got here, if you go back, you watch the first Bucks game and whatnot, 2021. Dallas wasn't doing all this weird ass 6 DBs and a safety at the backer, and it was cute. It was cool. It worked. It worked in 2021 when J-Ron Curse, it was new. It was innovative or whatever, right? It was different. But what happened? It's big. Pause. Is 6'4", 215, whatever he is as a safety, 220. He ain't a linebacker. His body ain't built to be a linebacker. And he started to break down. So we run that thing back again with J-Ron Curse. All right. Oh, we done found something. We done reinvented the wheel. That was never the intention. And he was never here to reinvent the wheel for this defense. But what happened, Dan Quinn said, "Oh, this is something here. Let's keep running. Let's keep running. Tight end stopper, right? All this cool stuff. I'll put him in the box." And he played well. Kudos to J-Ron. But I think it gave Dan Quinn this false confidence that, oh, well, shit. If not J-Ron, then Marquise Bell can do those things, right? If not J-Ron, then whomever. And then for whatever reason, in 2023, instead of just saying, okay, this is what you do really well, J-Ron, even though I know you're getting banged up and maybe this is why you decided to do this, we're going to put you on a roof. I might have been a bit hyperbolic in saying that he messed up our defense. But what I mean is I think he gave Dan Quinn false confidence in running that particular style of defense. J-Ron, in a sense, was a lightning in a bottle. He was a box safety, kind of been in multiple schemes, veteran guy that picked up the defense quickly. But you tried with Keanu Neal to move him to linebacker, didn't work. Marquise Bell had his ups and downs. He's a safety, man. He's not a linebacker. And really, you didn't, if you really think about it, you didn't have a replacement for J-Ron in the sense of they didn't want to have a replacement for him. Maybe you could have looked at Bell to be that guy. Maybe you could look at Wanye to be that guy. But they said, nah, this is what you're going to do. You're a green dot guy. You're our emotional leader. At the end of the day, if you're not playing well out there, you gotta try something else. And I don't think J-Ron played all that well this year, y'all. Like, my bad. I don't. And that's why I'm on some, because if we're being real, it's not just this year. I mean, did he play better in 2022? Sure, but you saw the decline coming. You saw the decline coming. And when your body starts to break down and you're not really built for that box like that, right? Like, you know, there was a lot of, hey, man, he's our Cam Chancellor. Dog, Cam Chancellor was like, what, 6'3", 240, damn? Cam Chancellor was built like a goddamn tank. And Cam Chancellor could play way better when he had to, I'm not saying he was a cover guy, but I'm talking about when he had to play in space, Cam Chancellor was sending dudes to the shadow realm. Do you hear me? Hey, y'all, find me a play where J-Ron was sending dudes to the shadow realm. I feel like I'm piling on him, but yo, I mean, just watch. If you go pop on that tape, man, the place he's not even in, you'll see J-Ron kind of shying away. Like, I'm going to run to a spot. I ain't going to run to him. And it's probably because he all hurt. He's not built for that long term. And I just think he gave us a false confidence that we can just run this. And then when they decided to, hey, you know, all right, J-Ron, I see that you're not really about that physical life anymore. We're going to put you on the roof. We're going to put you in space. From early in the season when J-Ron Kersey was in space, he was terrible. And they just kept doing it. So maybe it ain't J-Ron's fault. Maybe it's Dan Quinn's fault. But nonetheless, I don't care whose fault it is. I ain't bringing it back. Let's keep it moving. Shouts out to Cam from your hood, Rico. Neville Gallimore. No. I'm good. Again, I don't really got too much for you on Neville Gallimore. He just felt like he was just there this year. But the crazy thing is on Nev, this was kind of his best season. But it really wasn't much of anything. Nev's been asked to be in, you know, when I say inside, outside, 3 tech, 1 tech. No, they've been moving Nev around. I don't think he's a physically imposing guy. I don't think he's an overly athletic guy. I don't think he's a playmaker. I just think he's quite literally a jag. And when in that case, I think you can go ahead and find those guys elsewhere. So I'm gonna just move on with Nev. I don't really think there's much there, right? There's not much there with Neville Gallimore. But this one here, Jonathan Hankins, hey, look.
Run that back, Turbo.
Yes, indeedy. I am 100% bringing back Big Bank Hank. I think for what he was asked to do for this team, he did it at a very high rate, in my opinion. You know, clog up lanes. And I always talk about, I say this all the time to y'all. Hey, I need my defensive tackle, my nose tackle specifically, 1 tech, whatever, to not just be the, you know, cause traffic accidents, but be that truck, be that Ford F-150 or that 18-wheeler that's causing those accidents in the backfield. Right? Make that running back have to relocate, reroute. And I thought Hank did that pretty damn good this year, man. I will 100% bring him back. I don't think it's going to cost you a lot. It costs you nothing this year to bring him back. It's a 1-year deal. He's a good veteran to have in that room for a young guy like Mozzie and whoever else is going to be there. I know Osa's still there, etc. But I'm definitely bringing. I think this does probably more harm if you don't bring him back, because confident they're going to go out there and get somebody better? I mean, look, I would love for them to do it. But this is Dallas' best nose tackle since who? We barely had any here, but the Cowboys haven't really invested in the position. And I'm not even saying this is like a crazy investment because it's 1 year vet minimum type of deal. But yeah, I'm definitely bringing him back. It hurts you it does not hurt you at all. In fact, I think it helps you. It doesn't stop you from drafting if you want. It doesn't stop you from signing a better one if you want. The more, the merrier. I ain't saying he's Michael Pierce, but you do need a Michael goddamn Pierce on this team to help you stop the run. I wouldn't say the Cowboys couldn't stop the run when they needed to because of Hank, but I think Hank will help when you do eventually revamp the linebacker room. Russell Maryland, God, that's crazy. If he's our best since Russ. If he's our best since Russ. Oof. DQ wants. Hey, Marcus Harris. The DQ wants our safeties to play nose tackle. That's what I heard. All right, so for those still rolling up in here, we are playing a game of
Run that back, Turbo.
Or and maybe the most controversial one right here. I saw my guy Marcus. He might have jumped up in here late. Was like, why are we out on J. Lou? My reasoning was I don't think you bring back both Stephon Gilmore and J. Lou. And if I'm bringing back one or the other, I'm taking Steph because I can now put Bland back in the slot. And I got my top three corners. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with Diggs. And if Diggs happens to be on IR or PUP, I could put Bland back on the outside. But regardless, I got three corners that I feel good about, and I could draft one. That's my reasoning. Jordan Lewis is a cornerback for if somebody gets hurt, he helps you. That's just kind of how I viewed it, brother. Glover, well, I wouldn't necessarily view Glover and Jay as one techs or nose tackles, but I hear you. You know, Jay Ratliff did play the undersized nose tackle role under Camp Cupcake. You know, I hear you. VIP, what's up, man?
Sky, what up, baby?
What's going on with you, man?
It's VIP. You already know I had to take a little time away, man.
I can dig it.
I take this ish real serious. This thing of ours, and yo, that L, bro. I'm still not even fully digested from that, bro. Like, it's how we set ourselves up at home, and come and put that pathetic, yo.
Yeah,
I don't even know who to go at anymore.
Yeah, you didn't call.
Is it?
Did you call in last week? Can't remember.
No, I called in, but I didn't have time because I was so stressed out. I didn't tap back in.
Gotcha.
But my point is, going forward, we already know. Like, I love Curse as a motivator, but Curse, I think he hurt us more than he helped us last year.
I agree.
Meaning, because now he's stopping 30 from getting on the field. And if you ask me, 30 and Bell, which kind of helped this year, groomed them into that spot. But I really think we definitely need two things this year. An official middle linebacker, a Mike linebacker. That's what in the draft, I want a defensive tackle over 320 pounds, and I don't want a fucking make-believe Mike linebacker. I don't want a Will linebacker turn into a Mike. I want an official Mike linebacker. Talk to me, Sky. Am I going crazy here?
No, you're not. I mean, we were asking for that last year. You know, when it came out that Roquan Smith was on the damn trade market, what did he go for? Like a 2 and 5? Did he go for a 2?
And you see what he's doing?
So
you see what he's doing right now?
Yeah, if he went for a 2 and 5, you're talking about. And again, it's not always fair to play hindsight, but you're talking about Luke Schoonmaker and Awesome Richards. You wouldn't trade Luke Schoonmaker and Awesome Richards for Roquan Smith? Hey, dog, them picks.
Right.
That's how I'm feeling right now. If you can go get a, yeah, but hey, yeah, it's what it is.
So I think that's and it's a two-part thing because I know Big Willie. I love Big Willie. I love our Big Willie. Our GM, I love him. but he's also handcuffed by our handicapper. Our biggest handicapper is our owner, bro. Let's keep it a buck. Like, our biggest handicapper, this MFer he's been parking lot pimping when it comes to free agency for the last 3 years. Parking lot pimping. You and I know what parking lot pimping is. I mean, I'm not going in the club. I'm waiting for somebody 2:30 to come out scraggling to their car before they try and bang.
We call it the let out.
That's what the Slurpees do.
We call it the let out back home. Yeah. People definitely play the let out. A lot of broke folk play the let out too, but I get it. Yeah.
But he's sitting in the goddamn Bentley. And he's sitting in a Bentley waiting for the let out. Come on, man. Like, yo, what we need to do is really, I want a D tackle that's established. Obviously I want to draft one, but I want to go get me a number one D tackle. Whoever's on the free agent market this year, no, I don't want you to wait till the goddamn. They always do this. They wait for the first wave to go, and then we start. We parking lot piping. Here we go. We shopping at Walmart. You know what I mean? Like, come on, man. No, I need you to be front line. I want some Gucci. I want some goddamn Prada. I don't want none of this back line shit this year, B.
I hear you. Trust me, I do, brother.
So, Sky, you know I love you, man, but it took me a minute to call back. But I'm always listening, Sky. You know you're a hitter. I'm always out here. I've been watching the Slurpees call in, lurking. Like, they couldn't wait for Dak to make a mistake. Dak played his best season this year up until Mike McCarthy and our enabling coaching staff put him in bad position when they know he's the best quarterback with his play action pass, and we'd have no fucking running game established this year. I unapologetically apologize for swearing, but that's how I feel, B.
Nah, man. You ain't get a chance to let it out, so you know what I mean? Do what you gotta do, bro.
I love you, Sky, man. I love you, bro. And I guess we gotta ride this off season. My biggest question to you: if you were the GM, if you were Big Willie and you were Jerry and his son, who was your draft pick? Or what are we picking? Like 20-something, 20?
24, yeah.
Because we only have 5 draft picks right now. We only have our first, second, third, and then we don't have another one till the 7th. Until the contemporary picks come in.
Yeah, we got 6 of them. Or we got 7 of them. We're gonna get a 5th and a 6th round compensatory. So we'll have 7.
Oh, we did pick up those. Okay. Yeah. Okay. See, I didn't see that. Last time I checked, it was on. We had first, second, and third.
Yeah, technically right now we got the 5, like you said, but we're gonna get a pick for McGovern and Schultz. So.
Oh. Okay. Yeah. Okay. All right. That's where those 2 are coming from.
But what was your question though?
So who would be if you're on the draft board this year? Who was our number 1 pick? Who are you picking? What position are you addressing? If this was you, if you're the GM, if you're Jerry, who are you picking? 24th or 20, whatever we're picking. Who are you picking?
Put me in the spot here. I hate to be like this, VIP. I do, but what have I done in free agency? Right, like where have I shored up? Can I do this? Can I give you the positions I would take at?
Yeah, give me a position, not a name, not a name. I just want a position.
I take an offensive lineman. I take a linebacker. I don't know what the running back situation looks like, so I'm not comfortable saying that just yet. I know there's some good ones early, but I don't know if that early. Y'all would have to tell me that. And those would be my top 2. You know, offensive line, linebacker for sure, middle linebacker specifically. But any goddamn linebacker at this damn point. So, if I'm going specific O-line, tackle, center is where I'll be looking at.
Are you going center? Are you going center? Because we got big bodied a lot. So I want to address the center. I don't even think we gave the rookie home a shot at the tackle other than the preseason game. So I really want to address the center and then the tackle. Because center is the first line of defense. You know what I mean? Because that's the first. I think that was receiving a lot of pressure in his face.
I say O-line because, look, if the best tackle's there for me, I'm taking him. If the best center's there for me, I have no problem taking them either. So one of those 2 positions on the O-line. But I'm definitely in the market to upgrade center early in the draft. I don't care if it's round 1. I don't care if it's round 2, but 3, whatever. I'm definitely in the market for that.
Facts. Well, Sky, you know what it is, bro. I love you. I'm still, I ride for my boy. Like, I don't even give a damn. My girl asked me who you want to win. I don't even want to watch. That mother after bowl. Yeah, I know I'm going to watch it because I'm a football fanatic, and football is like my first love. It was part of my first therapy, so I'm going to watch it. I really don't have no, I have no horse in the race right now. So I really, I don't even, are you picking anybody, or you just watching it for the love of the sport?
Oh, I'm just watching for the love of the game. But are you asking, am I rooting for somebody?
Yeah.
I mean, I'd be happy to see Pat. I love greatness. I'd be happy to see Pat get a third one this early. But if it's Lamar, I've always had a like for how Baltimore has built their teams since they came into the league. I'd be happy for Lamar to get one. Ain't no way in hell I want to see the Niners get one. So they can get.
Oh hell no, hell no.
Them.
Yeah.
Detroit.
Double F them.
Let me say this about Detroit, bro. If Detroit gets a ring, right? I don't know how.
Bro. That ain't mild, man. I don't know why I couldn't be mad at that, bro.
No, I ain't gonna be mad at it. But what I'm getting at is, if Detroit gets a ring, how can the Joneses sit here and be like, "Hey, dog, we good with what we doing"?
No, that's egg in their face, though. I think I like that. I like that.
Man, that's more than egg on their face.
Yeah, I like that, though, bro.
That's something else on their face.
That's gonna make you step your G up. You feel me? I like that pressure. That's pressure. I like that. I like that analogy better. I think that's where I'm going. Even though I'm a Lamar fan and my son is a big Pat fan of the boys, I think I like that better because that's then maybe that'll spark a fire.
That might.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So, well, it's all love, man. I know you got other callers, but if you need a head up, the Slurpees are OD in this off season. I'm outside with it, 10 toes down.
How crazy, man.
I'm always around because this their season. It's the no gag order season. If they put their lip gloss on with their knee pads and they slurping, they want to talk about my quarterback. They want to talk about whoop-de-woo. All I know is I'm riding for Dad. I'm riding for my Lion. I'm riding for my Cowboys. All I gotta say from me is how about them Cowboys? I ain't a killer, but don't push me, B.
Always a pleasure, man. Always a pleasure rapping to our guy, VIP. VIP, he took a while. You could tell he was hurting, like all of us, man. But once he got in the groove, VIP, man. Bro, that's not what I'm talking about. Y'all killing me. VIP, maybe I need to get a pause button. The Big Willie was wild. I didn't catch it until I saw y'all say it. That was kind of wild. 100%. But that's not what I was talking about, y'all. Come on, man. The whoop-de-woo was dope. I like that one. I felt it too, Marcus. Crazy, man. Let's get back to this. Let's finish this middle section here. These next two ones are interesting ones. Dante Fowler. We running that back? Or we out? For me?
Run that back, Turbo.
Run that back, man. I guess this could depend on Dan Quinn, right? And I guess a lot of this would depend on Dan Quinn if we keep it in a bean. I didn't even think about that. But I think this might depend on Dan because he's a Dan guy. Recruited him at Florida. Brought him to Atlanta, signed him to the big contract, and obviously it was big in bringing him to Dallas. So maybe if Dan leaves, Dante leaves. But I'm just a big fan of his game as a sixth man. I think coming off the bench, Dante Fowler brings pass rush, he brings some explosion. He, once again, as a sixth man, I'm using a basketball term, he ranked fairly high in pass rush win rate, got his sacks, usually gets after the ball. One of the very few that actually get the ball, right? When Dante sacks you, man, there's a high chance he's forcing that ball out. And I don't think it's going to cost you a lot. The more the merrier when it comes to pass rush. And if you're going to lose a couple of these guys, and we'll talk about the next one soon, I think you don't want to just rely on all young dudes, undrafted guys, or all just Jags. I know some might look at Dante as a Jag. I think he's a little bit above that. I think he's got a toolbox. I think he can get after the passer. I'm all for bringing Dante Fowler back 100%. I don't think it's going to cost you a lot. I honestly don't care who the DC is. He's shown that if it's a 3-4, I can stand up. If I need to put my hand in the dirt, I'll put my hand in the dirt. He's just a pass rushing dude. So, I'd bring back Fowler. if he wants to come back, obviously, but if he does not leave, if Dan Quinn leaves, and even if DQ leaves, maybe he's taking a liking to Dallas. You know, that always is a thing. I know Jonathan Hankins has. He loves it down here. You know what's funny? I think a lot of these players actually love the organization just because it's like you get, when I say these players, I mean these type of players. They're not going to get a whole lot of heat. They're not going to be in the media like that. The area's nice, the weather, it's the star, Jerry Jones, you know. You got the cool little country club. Yeah, I can see Fowler saying, I like it down here. So I'm bringing it back. Army asked me, am I a 4-3 or 3-4 defensive guy? I'm a 3-4 defensive guy. I would love to bring in a 3-4 style of defense. A modern version, but a 3-4 style defense. And then Dorrance Armstrong. I want to see what y'all say first. Dorrance Armstrong, are we running this back or nah? We bringing back DA or we not? Mind you, Dorrance Armstrong signed a 2-year contract, like $6 million annual. He's coming off a 9-sack season. He's probably going to get a little bit north of that $6 million annual average salary. I'd imagine probably. I don't know how much more, but I don't know if it'd be 10 mil, but maybe 7, 8, 9 million. So probably a little bit higher than that. But DA second on the team in sacks again, quietly, in my opinion. Versatile guy, you know, stand up, put his hand in the dirt, moved him inside on the end game situations. But Dorrance Armstrong, y'all bringing him back or not? Depends on the price. Just might cost. This one was a little tough. No. This was not an easy one. This is not one that I'm really like pumping my chest out about. I think a lot of this has to do with I want to get some more dangerous pass rush guys. Like this is no knock on DA. A team would love to have DA as a rotational defensive end. I don't know that I ever looked at DA and was like, man, I'm fearing him beating my guy off the line of scrimmage. You know what I'm saying? Or man, I'm fearing him as a run guy. He damn sure wasn't that. And it could be unfair because he you know, production wise, 9 sacks. Oh my God, he got 9 sacks. What are you talking about? I think if I go back and look, I haven't done it yet, but I remember we did this the last 2 seasons. It wasn't like it was just DA just whooping dudes getting the sacks. And that's the thing, right? They're going to have cleanup sacks and hustle sacks and things like that. You need that to pad your stats in that manner. But if we're going to keep Micah like as a rusher, I need guys that are dangerous when they decide to put a whole bunch of attention on Micah. And I would have liked to see Dante Fowler get a little bit more. I feel like he's more of a dangerous pass rusher, but it doesn't have to be a Fowler. It can be another guy in free agency. And if you really want to, you know, up the ante here, you say, well, if you bring back DA for $9 million, I'll pay an extra couple $1 million to go get a better player, if that's going to be the case. So Dorrance Armstrong, for me, no. But it looks like it's a mixture of that and
Run that back, Turbo.
And we didn't even talk about Sam, right? Somebody brought up Sam. That's another one I would have been interested to see. Get our hands on a little bit more. Toxic Tom, talk to us, man.
Good morning, Sky. First off, I just want to say, VIP, you had to step away. Slurpee, man. That's a Slurpee mentality. You stay in this shit when it's the worst, and you just embrace that toxicity. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding.
Better not get on the VIP's bad side.
When this relationship is toxic, you don't go out to the bar. You don't go have fun with friends. You don't talk to a therapist. You just sit at that kitchen table with your mouth shut and just slowly die. That's how this works. So been listening to a lot what you're saying, and you made a point earlier about J-Ron Curse, and it really got me thinking because you brought up when DQ first got here. And when DQ first got here, he wasn't playing this Mickey Mouse bullshit with all these safeties. And that's when the J-Ron Curse train really caught on. And now we're at this point, and he went all in on this safety mentality, and it got exposed completely.
Yeah.
And now it's really making me think, okay, when Dan Quinn first got here, he adjusted. He changed what he did in Atlanta. And now I'm looking at when he adopted this and where we are now, what has he actually changed since then? Because the Vic Fangio hire doesn't really move my needle because a big reason is he's known to be stubborn, lack of adjustments, and my best friend's a Dolphins fan. He wanted Fangio gone, and today's game is about adjust, readjust, and constantly readjust. So when I'm looking at
damn adjustment in our
go
game,
ahead.
I don't know what the hell happened there, but go ahead.
Absolutely. Oh yeah, and that brings me to this. When we're looking at these free agents, are you running under the assumption that Dan Quinn is just going to be doing the same nonsense that he's been doing?
I'm gonna be honest. I wasn't even thinking Dan Quinn is here or not. That 100% will probably affect a handful of these guys.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just thinking the player, right? Whether it's DQ or whether it's another coordinator, which might not be fair, Toxic, because each coordinator, each coach has their preferences. But I'm just thinking like, well, whether he's here or not, can I use this player moving forward, et cetera? And then sometimes you got to count in the money. Like DA is the only one I'm really counting in the money for real. I guess Gilmore, you can think about that. But for a guy like Dorrance Armstrong, if it's going to cost you, a decent penny, I'd rather just pay a little bit more and get a better player. That's kind of where I was at with it.
And to be fair to you as well, we're dealing with an organization that's been on a hibernation mode for the last couple of weeks. They're not doing anything, and it really makes this that much harder because to me, personally, I care more about who is getting these players and how they're going to use them rather than is this player good or not. Because to me, a player is only as good as the direction that they're told to go. So it's kind of a disservice to all of us here that we're seeing all these teams actually making moves, off-season moves that helped them win the Super Bowl, Rosie O'Donnell or Stephen Jones, that you said off-seasons aren't won in the Super Bowl. Anyway. But the point is,
you have to build your team in off-season. I don't understand that.
I don't understand how, and this is where I just don't think they really have a plan whatsoever. I think they throw shit on the wall and they just see what sticks because, these are the moments that you are redefining your culture, your goals, and you're moving forward with 2024. I can guarantee you some of these teams that have been eliminated for weeks now have been dedicated hours and resources just to get ready for this upcoming season. And it just feels like that we just shrug our shoulders and just go, oh, well, it didn't work out. Well, what do we do now? Well, let's see what our veteran guy that just looked like dog shit, let's see what he wants to do. Like it's a job and we're waiting for the guy to retire or not. Like, what the hell, dude? Move on. If you have to think about it and you're banking on that nobody else wants him but we do, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
But last thing
I said, Joe Barry, 2 days later they fired Joe Barry. And maybe they're scared to fire people. You know what I'm saying? Maybe they're scared to do that. They didn't even come out and say, we've fired Kellen Moore. They said, we've mutually parted ways with Kellen. Like, when's the last time they just flat out fired, a main coordinator or coach? Just
Wade Phillips.
Exactly. So just look, man. It ran its course. Let's kind of get back to emphasizing the middle of the field, and doing things that are working in today's game and not trying to reinvent the wheel. That's all. Maybe Dan will do that. Maybe he returns and they say, all right, I played enough with that. Let me learn from my mistakes. I don't know, but it didn't end on a good note for me.
I agree. And the last major point I'll make is to Bomb Squad Cowboys Nation. When it comes to free agency and we're in the free agent superstore, we're shopping near the cash register. We're going nowhere near the electronic section or all the cool kid stuff where you're seeing all the happy people shop. We are near the gum and the chapstick. So be prepared for guys that sound like they're in witness protection, names you've never heard of, guys that look like Madden-generated players. Because remember, Kim Jong-Jerry says everything is happy, everything is fine despite everything burning around it, he's good. And you have to remember that if Jerry's happy, he doesn't give a shit about any of you. But he thanks you for his jersey sales, and he thanks you that you have embraced his son, Rosie O'Donnell. Other than that, have a good day. Bye.
Appreciate you talking. For those who don't know the Rosie O'Donnell, you just had to be here. I'll probably end up, I might even have the picture. Hold up. Just give me 1 second, y'all. I'm sorry. I got to do this. No, I don't. I deleted it. All right. Never mind. But for those who were here when that happened, just type in Stephen Jones and then Rosie O'Donnell. Yo, that's all I'm saying. He on to something with that one. That's all I'm saying. I think somebody was asking me who were the better. I mean, there's a lot of better players out in the open market than Dorrance Armstrong. It's just a matter of the Cowboys really want to pay for those type of players. I mean, Danielle Hunter, Brian Burns, you got Josh Allen. I take Bryce Huff, Chase Young, the kid from the Texans, was it Grenard? Hell, I don't know what Jadeveon Clowney going to want to do, but hell, I take the Jadeveon Clowney on this team too. I'm just saying, like, there's players out there that I'd rather have. Not saying if they brought DA back, I'm gonna sit here and throw a fit or anything like that. But if I'm gonna pay DA $9-10 million, I mean, I'll just pay some more money for a better player. Is what I'm getting at. So those are a couple of the guys that I believe are. I mean, shit, I'd pay Van Ginkel less money. I like how he looked this year. Really, he's been a solid guy for years. He's kind of been their version of DA, but just a little bit more versatile. Yeah, Bryce Huff definitely a dog, 100%. 100%. Underrated dude. All right, now we're kind of going to move over to the offensive side of the ball and talk about Tyler Bide-ass. We running this thing back with Tyler Bide-ass? Or no? Tyler Biadasz show. Me? No, sir. It's run its course. He regressed. Maybe he was, I don't know, dinged up. Who knows? I don't care, honestly. He never really elevated. He had a solid year last year, but can't just go off the one. He just doesn't do it for me there. Not a powerful guy, not an uber athletic guy. His best attribute is his intelligence, right? His IQ. So I won't knock him and say he's nobody, right? Like he's a guy that got us into some protections and things like that. But I think we need to upgrade there at the center position. Who was it? Louis Riddick. Louis Riddick dropped a nice little tweet yesterday about looking at the remaining teams. And I love to do that. We'll do it once we get to the Super Bowl too. The remaining teams all focused on the middle of the field, right? And to use the example for the Baltimore Ravens, Tyler Lindenbaum, one of the guys that, we were champion for when he was there. Tyler Linderbaum, Patrick Queen, Roquan Smith, Kyle Hamilton, right? Like that's the middle of the field on both sides of the ball. Frank Ragnow, Brian Branch, Joseph. They got a whole bunch of linebackers over there. Jack Campbell, Anzalone, like they prioritize the middle of their field. We know about the Niners. Now they don't got Hufunga back there, but we know about the middle of the field. So he was just basically going along, and even on defense side of the ball, D-line. He was talking about how those teams have a philosophy that is tried and true in the National Football League. And Tyler Biadasz, maybe for somebody else that is deprived at center, they could use him. And I guess you can say if we lose Tyler, we're deprived. But we talked about potentially using TJ Bass there, right? I don't know. I mean, is that something he can do? I'd be interested to see, but I'm 100% looking at center position in the draft. I'm not in the draft film room just yet on where these centers are going to go. I know about the Jackson Powers guy from Oregon that everybody talks about. But hey, man, just get me a center in the top 100, preferably top 90-ish or whatever. And let's rock. You know what I'm saying? Let's rock. But I'm all for upgrading the center position. I am out on Tyler Biadasz. Brock Hoffman. I thought Brock had, like we talked about Brock last week, right? Like Brock had some, or earlier this week actually, he had some moments. They love him in that locker room and whatnot. Hey, let's let him fight. Whoever you draft or bring in, let him fight for it. But I'd be looking for maybe more talent at the position, and that might require you to draft guys. And every time the Cowboys, not every time, but I'm just saying the last time the Cowboys drafted the center in the first round, we got a lot of heat for it, but ended up turning out fine. People laughed at Linderbaum too. Turned out fine. I don't know where the Frank Ragnow guy got, but I'm not saying it got to be the first round. I'm just saying we should invest in it, though. Let's invest in center. We need that. Chuma Edoga. We talked about this earlier this week. Y'all know what it is for me. No. I'm out of here. I'm out of here on Chuma. Just too many mental errors. Just too many of them, y'all. For those who may have not been here earlier on Chuma, are y'all in and y'all out? Y'all know how I'm not going to repeat everything. Just too many mental errors. It's not even the physical for Chuma. It's the mental. And it was never just like a slight mental error. Like, I didn't get to the, I read the wrong read at the second level. Nah, this dude completely let too many guys free. It affected plays. I'm out on Chuma, though. Kofi said he'd been going since Miami. That's how I feel. When that Miami thing happened and we got into week 18, Chuma could have obviously went out there and played. There was two guys on the line that didn't play. They decided to go with Brock Hoffman and TJ Bass. That tells you something. Chuma could have played one of those. He didn't. So out on him. Maybe the biggest one outside of Stephon Gilmore, in my opinion, the decision, is Tyron Smith. And I thought this was a consensus, but I'm not really on Instagram much. But, we posted something on Instagram, and I saw people in there saying, no. But for me, it's 100%.
Run that back, Turbo.
Easily. And we're probably talking about another 1-year deal that where Tyron Smith does not hurt you from drafting a guy. I'm not. The beauty of the Tyron Smith thing is I think if they did draft a guy and they decided to roll with it, I don't think Tyron about to sit here and trip about it. If they do draft a guy and say, hey, we're building this thing up, all right, cool. Tyron going to give you a good first 8-9 games, and then he's going to get hurt. You know how that go with Tyron Smith. Hell, might not even take that damn long. I just think it's a perfect win-win situation as long as you do not rely on Tyron Smith to be the sole guy. Cannot do that. If they go run this thing back and they be like, we're going to go sign a Chuma Edoga again. No. Mm-mm. But if they have a legitimate plan, because that was a piss poor plan last year, especially when we realized, okay, we're going to bring back Tyron, but we're not going to use Tyler if he gets hurt out there. We're going to use Chuma. Nah, I'm not for that. But again, I noticed some people didn't want to bring him back. Or is there anybody here that is out on Tyron Smith returning? I definitely will bring him back and draft his replacement. Stop playing around. No 5th round, 7th round, trying to turn old string bean Willetsko into the no. Get your guy. Running back have a legitimate plan. Yep. Toxic said he got hurt by my green check mark. Out 6 weeks. You still have to draft a guy with Tyron Hill 100%. You don't go into this thing. You don't go into this thing saying Tyron Smith is the guy no matter what. We don't need tackle. Nah, you need tackle. I like that one, Professor. Tyron's back, but no practices or training camp. I think we've learned our lesson, right? Like Tyron Smith only gets hurt when he's getting out of bed, when he's walking to training to the star, and when he practices. He does not get hurt on the field for whatever. He gets hurt at practice in 2023. So keep him away from the practice field. Give him I always say Romo Wednesdays, if y'all remember back in the day. But give him that treatment for sure. One more for Tyron. No practice in the contract. I like that. And then, yeah, Toxic, don't want him back unless you have a legitimate plan. 100%. If you're going to bring him back, got to be a plan. Willie T. Tyrant's training camp is just a massage and hot tub. How crazy. Dude don't get hurt at all at camp. Now, granted, the weather over there is beautiful. But anyway, doesn't get hurt at camp. Everything goes fine. The very first week, wasn't it the first week, second week? One of them two. Boom. Tyron Smith hurt. Done did something to something. Woke up, wasn't feeling good. And then it just kept happening. I'm still waiting on that $100 from that guy, man. It ain't my money. I was going to give it away to y'all. I'm still waiting on that $100. That's what I'm saying. Rico Dowdle. Now, we talked about running backs the other day, so this may be a little bit of a repeat, but it is what it is. He is an impending free agent. Bringing back Rico, or are we out on this one? For me, no. Yeah, I'm out on this one. Very similar situation to the Tyron thing when the Cowboys elected to roll with Rico as RB2. It was like, I get it. The dude, he has something to his game, but the problem with him is he gets hurt. He's been a hurt guy since South Carolina, and nothing has changed. He's been in Dallas, and he's been hurt every single season. Why would you, at a position like running back, why would you run that back? Why? It's not like Rico Dowdle, is a, again, no disrespect if he got family in there. Somebody said this the other day. It's not like he's a special talent. Oh, man, you draft a running back. Maybe you sign a Rico Dowdle in free agency. But I'm revamping that running back room, at least from the top two, which I guess we could just go ahead and say this. Tony Pollard, for me. No. Nope. And this was a nah. Soon as they tagged him, I'm like, oh, they not bringing this guy back. And he probably should. Now, there may be a situation where Tony Pollard and Rico Dowdle, they've dwarfed their value. And you can bring them back on something. But, man, look, y'all know how I feel about the running back room, bro. Y'all know how I feel about the running back room. Get me these young bucks, or if you're gonna get me a veteran and pair him with a young buck. Why? I'm cool. Rico's a hurt guy. TP could be a fine tandem back for sure. I'm not knocking that. But I feel like let's just kind of restart over in that room. It's running back, y'all. Like, it ain't rocket science. If we being real, it's more so about what is going on in front of them and how. And if that is questionable, then yeah, you're going to need some special talent. But even special talents, a lot of the times, need a better plan. So I'm out on Rico and TP returning for Dallas here. I would love to get me a young guy in a draft, potentially sign a veteran guy. I mean, there's a whole lot of them out there. Pair him with the young guy. Basically take the Detroit Lions model. They signed Montgomery, drafted a running back. I'm with that one. But more importantly, at the running back position, can we now address it as a stable, right? Like, can we have a legitimate, real plan? You didn't even set up Rico and TP and Deuce and all these guys for success because you didn't care for it to be a legitimate stable. I'll use the Chiefs, for example. McKinnon, before he got hurt, McKinnon was their pass catching guy. Veteran dude, pick up some blitzes, get out, and was a reliable pass catcher. He can run a little bit, but a reliable pass catcher. Pacheco was their smash mouth angry runner. CEH kind of can give you the best of both. I know he was a failed first round pick, but he was always a quality backup plan to these guys. They had a plan in that room. We know Baltimore has a plan in that room. Detroit, a plan in that room. San Fran has a plan in that room. There's a plan. You can say, well, that was the plan, Scott. That's a piss poor planning for Dallas. I'm going to franchise tag a dude who just tore his ankle up, number one. And instead of saying, let me go get him a legitimate number two back and we're going to run this thing as a tandem like we've been doing for 4 years or whatever it's been. Instead of running this thing like a tandem, we're going to bring back the dude that always gets hurt and not use him at all. So we're going to lean on the dude who did get hurt, who was better in a tandem situation. I don't think that never was a question. You wanted to bring back Tony Pollard. The thought process was, okay, you bring back Tony Pollard, you give him a better guy to work with as a tandem. You didn't do that. You brought back a hurt guy, and you rolled that out there, and you didn't even use him in that way. Yeah, but what about the 6th-round pick? What about him? You did nothing with him either. That plan was piss poor, if you want to call it a plan. So I think they got to have a better plan in the running back room, y'all. Good morning, Mel. What's up with you?
Man, I'm with you on a couple of these. I'm out with you on a couple, so I definitely wanted to call in and see if we can have a little back and forth with it.
If somebody was with me,
out of here.
If somebody was with me on all 16, I'd be shocked. I don't expect y'all to
get Tyron Smith up out of here. Get Stephon Gilmore up out of here. And the reason I'm gonna just talk about those two, Stephon, clearly he can't run no more. I need more guys on the outside that are closer to their prime. He's just too far away from his prime. This year, to me, it just showed me he clearly cannot run no more, bro. Like, if I'm looking at the teams that are left. There's no he was once great on the outside in a position where you got to be able to run. I don't see him moving to safety. I can't see him coming back even in a kind of supportive role. I need more guys. Like, I don't want more old guys hanging around, kind of taking time away from guys that could be developing. We saw what happened once we gave Deron Bland a shot. Turned out to be one of the better takeaway corners in the league. I love what Jay Lou did this year. He looked like he went and got his bike back. I'm okay with moving him into the slot permanently. Keep Deron on the outside. We get our number one guy back, and then draft some guys and develop those guys. I don't really need Stephon Gilmore hanging around no more. He did have a very good year, but he was
statistically one of the better. I think it was man corners this season. He had a really damn good year, but he is older. He's not going to be as athletic. If the plan is to move him out of there, and we got Bland and Diggs, I'm not going to complain about that. I mean, Bland and Diggs is your guys. My reasoning, I don't know if you were here, for bringing back Steph was
I wasn't checked in yet.
Yeah. My reasoning for him was it's a fail safe for Diggs. If Diggs, because remember he tore his ACL in early in the season. So if Diggs has to go on PUP or he's not ready or he's still working his way back, you have a veteran corner that has shown that, he can at least be, at the worst, a very solid guy on that side. Yeah. Now, he was better than serviceable. He was solid over there. He can be a solid guy decent guy over there, above average if you want to call it that. And now if Diggs is on PUP, you got 6 games with some cornerbacks you can work with. But if the plan is Diggs is fine, you tell me Diggs, nothing wrong with him. Bland is on the outside, Diggs on the outside. You figure out slot corner. Yeah, I can get behind that.
So I'll kind of counter that a little and say, and this is, again, I got to remember we shop in that bargain basement. We definitely, this is Cap Boy criteria. Is there someone else out there in free agency? Before I'm looking at Stephon, I'm looking at somebody else in free agency that I can possibly bring in that is closer to their prime or could possibly get there, that I would bring in as that fail-safe before I'm looking to bring Stephon back. To me, he just could. It was just too many times towards the later part of the season he couldn't run.
Is there another word for prime that you want to? What do you mean by prime? Because if I bring in prime Eli Apple, he's still not better than Stephon Diggs. So what do you mean by prime? You mean like prime athletic? Like if you're just looking for a guy that can run fast, I mean, yeah, I can get a bunch of dudes that can run fast, but we know there's no. What do you mean by prime?
Closer to the best that they are. Like,
again, the best Eli Apple I do get what you mean. Is not better than Stephon Gilmore right now.
Eli, not a jag that's in his prime, but like a good corner that's just closer to the best they can be. To me, I'm gonna just say this: like Stephon is just too far away from the best that he was. And I do understand he did have a good, I'm not saying like he had a bad year. To me, it was just too many times toward the end of the season where it was just like, damn, he just can't run no more. Like, I could see it. He was having to play off of guys. He couldn't come up really and bump. I know he did hurt the shoulder, but it was just
I think you're
like
overdoing the can't run no
having,
more thing, bro. Like the dude, why are we acting like the guy out there with one leg? Like, clearly he can run, but can he run with dudes like Waddle? No, of course. Tell DB couldn't run with Hill. DB was getting burnt by what's his name? So yeah, he can't run with dudes like that. But we acting like Stephon Diggs was out there with
DB be getting burnt. DB be getting burnt, but
like, he wasn't out there poor little take, man. Again, if you're looking for a cornerback that's more athletic, that's fine. I hear what you're saying, but I just think there's more to the position than just being athletic. You want to talk about
100%. You
want to talk about the cornerback class in regards to free agency? It ain't the craziest, brother. You know, it's not like you. And look, think about what you're asking for, right? If you're looking for a guy that's in his prime, that's better than Stephon Gilmore, we're talking about Catboy. You ain't getting that.
That's kind of, totally 100.
You ain't getting that.
I'm 100% with you there. I'm 100% with you there. That's
you're better off just saying Diggs, Bland, bring back J. Lou, or Diggs, Bland, sign another nickel cornerback or draft a nickel cornerback, and that's kind of where you're looking.
Where I'm sitting at right now, I'm definitely Diggs, Bland.
Fair enough.
Bring back J. Lou, and then get some other guys in here that we can start to develop. Or if you want to, like, my guy from Chicago, I don't know if he's going to be still available. I know we're talking about Cowboys, so I know not to get ahead of myself.
Jalen Johnson? That you talking about?
Leave me alone, dog.
No, I'm asking a question. Are you talking about Jalen Johnson?
Yeah.
That's the guy I wanted to trade for. Was willing to give up my second round pick.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I'm just saying. I'm like, I get it.
We're talking about Catboy.
It's Catboy criteria.
Yeah, this dude just went all pro. So, he's not coming to Dallas unless Dallas decides to, change up everything. That all in, right? Push the chips all in. But you could have traded for him and tagged him if you ain't want to pay him long term. But it's neither here nor there.
Yeah, I mean, I would have loved that setup because now I got Trey Johnson. And now I got DB back in the slot, so I would have loved that setup. And now J. Lou is my other corner. I mean, I would have loved that setup, but again, we talking about Cowboy here. But yeah, I'm still out. You're not convinced. You haven't convinced me yet, but I'm still out.
Oh, I'm not here to convince you. I'm not trying.
Yeah, I got you. Make your point.
Yeah.
I got you.
Yeah, we just talking about because I'm not really, I don't have a strong opinion really on any of these to the point where if you said yes or no, I'm going to fight you on it. None of these dudes, except maybe Tyron Smith. That's about it. Everybody else, I mean, look, I'd bring back Jonathan Hankins, but if he's not here, what are we going to trip about that? No, Fowler, CJ, J. Lou, Stephon. That's why I said at the start of the show, look, this is easy. I don't think there's really like these crazy, oh my God, tough decisions to make here. Like Tyron Smith is a guy you bring back, absolutely. Everybody else, if you don't bring them back, I don't think anybody is really going to be up in arms about it.
So for me, Tyron is the toughest one. Tyron is the toughest one because he played so well when he played. The problem I have with Tyron is the problem that everybody on this show has with Tyron is you can't depend on him.
Nope.
You can't depend on him. And I know somebody's going to say he played this many games this year. It's not even about that. It's like he will not practice the whole week and still not play in the damn game because he got hurt getting orange juice out the fridge. It's like, it's ridiculous, bro. You have to bring in, to me, his replacement has to be on the roster. What's my guy?
Again, I ask you again, were you here when we talked about Tyron?
Yeah, I was.
So
what's my Slurpee guy? What's the name? What's
VIP?
His name? VIP said, what position would you draft? To me, it's left tackle. It's left tackle. I'm looking at left tackle unless there's just some stud out there at another position that you just can't pass up, like when we had the CeeDee Lamb situation. Unless it's something like that, I gotta go left tackle. I have to. I can't be out here with Chuma Doga again. I can't be out here with a crackhead at left tackle again. I can't do it.
Like I said, if you were here when we talked about Tyron, the whole thing on Tyron is you bring him back with the plan. You don't bring him back and rely on him. So that's if you're gonna bring him back and say he's the guy and we're gonna go sign another Byron Bell, no, I'm not bringing him back. But if you bring him back with the mind frame of drafting his replacement, 100%, that's not even a tough decision.
Do you think that the Cowboys, the Dallas Cowboys, will bring back Tyron with his replacement on the team? Because I see it as if they bring Tyron back, they're still going to look at it as, well, we just need somebody else for the couple of games he doesn't play. They're not going to look at it as we need the long-term answer at left tackle. That's just how I see them operating.
Or they'll say
the only reason
Tyler Smith is our long-term answer. They'll try to hit us with that shit.
Yep. That's my biggest concern with the way that they operate. Like,
I don't know. They were close to taking Bergeron this past draft. So if a guy's there and they like him, maybe. But I don't think you just let him walk. I mean, the dude played too damn good for you. It shouldn't cost you an arm and a leg. He protected your quarterback's blind side like a boss, and you just drafted his replacement. It's not that hard, man. It really is.
It ain't that hard, but this is definitely one of them franchises or this front office. They do things weird, man. They do things weird. It's some stuff that is right there in front of their face, and it just seems like they're like they don't see what clearly the rest of the football world sees. So I just never know with them. But to me, it's clear that Tyron's replacement needs to be on the roster come training camp, whether that be by free agency or whether that be by the draft, but his replacement has to be on the roster come training camp. If it's not, you're doing yourself a huge disservice and putting yourself in a bind. Sky, bro, I love you, my man. Thanks for letting me get on here and chop football with you, man. It's always a pleasure. Keep doing what you're doing, bro. I'm out.
All right, man. Appreciate you, Bell. Last one of the
conference
morning.
Has been locked.
Our guy, Brandon from Frankly Football. What's up, B?
What's going on, Scott? How you doing, brother?
I'm good, fam. Nice little show today.
That's it. Word. It always is. Don't just say the day.
Appreciate that. Appreciate it. What's on your mind?
You are one of the best doing this. So I kind of agree with the previous caller, man. The Dallas Cowboys have habits.
Yeah.
And I wish that I knew all of the team's habits. So that way when I'm doing like some of my content, I can talk about some of the other teams' draft habits. But the Dallas Cowboys have habits. They and when I say they, I mean the guys at the top, Jerry, Steven, and to an extent Will McClay. They believe in their guys to an extent that they allow them to be progress stoppers. And if Tyron Smith is going to be on the team in 2024, then even though he may give us games, whether it's 9, 10, or even more, they may not commit fully to drafting his replacement and allow him to be a progress stopper. And, we can look to guys like Jason Witten, to an extent Sean Lee. We can go down the list of guys at various positions that they allow to be progress stoppers. How do you feel about that thought?
Yeah, you just brought up Sean Lee. That reminds me. That might have been the last time. I could be wrong. I'm just thinking about it as you say it. They drafted, a stature type guy of Sean Lee's replacement early, and it was LVE. They took him in round 1, and he was taken to be Sean Lee's replacement. Ended up having to do it early in that season and did it well. But yeah, it doesn't seem like they do it much though. Again, I'm with y'all in the sense of there could be this, again, false sense of hope or whatever, confidence that if we sign Tyron, they just like, we good to go. But they had a legitimate battle last year on Bergeron, right? And granted, he was probably going to move to guard, but if he was going to move to guard, then that means Tyler was going to be tackle, right? So maybe, just maybe, there's a tackle on the board and they make that decision, not just the first round, but second round. But I get it, bro. Mm-hmm. It is definitely something that is of concern, that there's a whole bunch of guys in that building that are comfortable, and they might be comfortable saying, Tyron's the guy, man. We don't got to worry about taking a tackle to the 5th round again. Or Awesome's the guy, right? He's our replacement, right? So that's a legitimate concern.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's interesting that you brought this up because it seems like Tyler Smith they're submitted to him being the guard of the future because there's certain moments when other guys got out, like Tyron got hurt. They were committed to Tyler staying at guard rather than kicking him outside. They had us seeing Chuma on the outside rather than other guys moving inside and kicking Tyler outside.
Yeah.
So it seems like they're committed to Tyler being the guard of the future.
I agree.
So,
it feels that way. Where it's so funny, man. They tell us one. So Stephen Jones, I think before the season, maybe it was during the season, he talked about. I think it was before. He talked about Tyler, future left tackle, right? But when it push came to shove to put him back out at tackle because you knew Tyron was going to get hurt, they kept him there, and he played as an All-Pro guard. A lot of us believe he can be an All-Pro guard sooner rather than later because of the type of player he was, and he was. So I'm with you. It looks like they're looking to keep him at guard. I do wonder though, like I don't know what the guard's looking like in draft or whatnot, but I do wonder if they look at him the same way they may look at DB, like, well, he can play this, he can play that. Whatever falls to us in the draft, we'll go that route. Like if the best quote unquote guard falls, do I move him? The best tackle fall, do I keep him? I would love to know what's in Will McClay's head. Me personally, Tyron Smith proved to be an All-Pro guard. Let him rock. Go get you a young left tackle, and he's your left tackle of the future. But you start off with Tyron Smith, Tyler Smith, and once Tyron gets hurt, if that left tackle goes in there and balls, you say, Tyron, appreciate you for your services, man, but you are sixth man off the bench.
Absolutely. Yeah, I personally agree. Another thing I saw on your list, you got Tony and Rico as guys that we shouldn't be interested in bringing back. I personally agree. Because I believe that the instant that they tagged Tony, they were like, okay, here's your severance check, and we wish you well.
Yeah.
And I think that they hurt the team. Of course, when I say they, for future reference, I'm talking about Jerry, Steve, and Will McClay. They hurt the team by chasing the story rather than the talent with Deuce Vaughn. Deuce Vaughn had the nepotism and the connection with his father, Chris. But I think that he didn't have the best chance at success because he didn't win the genetic lottery. And you may understand what I'm saying when I'm trying to say it in the nicest way possible.
You ain't built for it, is what you say. So when we did the we have this thing I do after every draft where we rate the draft, right? We have these ratings, and one of my words for him was satellite back, right? Just a cool way to say, hey, use him in space or whatever. Even though I know he ran between tackles and whatnot, but a guy that's part of a stable RB3 type of guy that you throw the ball to, get him out in space, and then, hey, if you got a quality scheme, maybe he can be a cut back type of back, inside the tackles. But they did not use him in that way, right? Like he wasn't a satellite back. It wasn't McKinnon and whatnot. And if we're being fair, him and in my opinion, Rico and TP just weren't set up for success in this style of offense this year. So the genetics does not help. If he's not going to be a guy that you use purposefully in a way, and you just say, hey, you just gonna do the same shit we asking everybody else to do, probably not the best thing early on. Because even Darren Sproles, if you go look at Darren Sproles' rookie year, he didn't do nothing. It took Darren Sproles to get into the right situation for him to really be Darren Sproles and be used correct. Exactly. So, they did chase the story. If you go back and watch the show, I just kept saying, all right, we in that round now. We in 3, 4, 5. Get one of these backs to complement your room. And they just never got a back to complement the room. And now I understand why. They didn't care to complement the room. They really didn't. They just looked at the running back as kind of a throwaway spot this year, in my opinion. They're not going to say it, but their actions speak louder than words to me.
Absolutely. You got a camera on Chris Vaughn. You let him do it.
Yeah.
You let him, make the call 100%. I mean, we're not stupid. And I did the draft retrospective I think on Sunday on my channel. You know, I was open and honest about how I felt about it. So yeah, man, when you got a set of what is the best way to say it? When you have a front office who is going to go that route with their draft philosophy, I think that their back is going to be against the wall when now the room is going to be bare. They have to be more purposeful with their picks the following year. Do you agree?
Yeah, I don't know if there was a true purpose last year in the draft. I think, and I'm not trying to say this was 2009. For those who are draft nuts and degenerates of the Cowboys, y'all know how terrible 2009 was, where I think it was Jerry who came out and said, "Oh, this is like our special teams draft," because he believed we were top heavy, right? I don't think Will McClay moved. I don't think we moved that way. Say again.
Was 2009 Mo Claiborne? If I'm
no. Mo was 2012. That was the Jason Williams in second round. I don't even think we had a first round, but it was just awful, bro. It was a terrible draft. It was a special teams draft. But I think this approach seemed to me like, and I get it, we didn't have a lot of top spots to fill, but this didn't seem like there was a legitimate plan of, okay, these guys can and will contribute year one and also be our guys moving forward. It was more of like, hey, this is a futures draft. You know what I'm saying? That's why you take a Schoonmaker in the second round. That's why you take they got lucky with Overshown, I think, who was showing something, but I don't think they took Overshown to be the guy right now. I think Overshown just kind of started being a guy. That's why you took Deuce Vaughn in the sixth round. They weren't really being serious, I don't think, in regards to 2023 impact. And maybe that's where they missed it. Maybe, and I get it. Draft is not about 1 year, but I question the plan in 2023. It's hard for me to question them in general because they've hit so much. But I do wonder what the plan will be this year. We'll see when it's all said and done.
Absolutely. And one thing about it, you have to realize, I think that people put a lot of faith in Overshown. Dan Quinn likes his linebackers a certain way. Don't forget that Overshown was a defensive back convert as well. He played 2 years of college as a cornerback.
He did, but as a safety. But he also played 2 at backer. Like that's the thing about him. He went from safety to backer, and he actually played backer. Whereas, Marquise Bell played safety. He didn't play backer, and he played at, the school he played at, the Rattlers. But Overshown moved to linebacker for 2 seasons at Texas, and he showed that he could be a playmaker at the position. So, I get Overshown having upside at the linebacker spot. Their mistake to me was taking a safety, true safety, and putting him at backer. And he admitted early in the season, hey, I'm still learning run fits. And we just kind of scoffed at it. Bro, you got a legitimate starting linebacker that is learning how to fit the run. And we didn't blink an eye. Interesting.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing about Overshown, he got the size to fit the mold as well.
Yeah, he'll fill out more too. What is Overshown? 220. He'll fill out more. Again, though, my expectations once we get to the position, I'll say it again. I'm tempering them because of the ACL. I'm rooting like hell for him to put it behind him, but I don't want to play myself like we've done with these ACL injuries, so I'm just going to temper my expectations.
Absolutely, man. The main quandary that I've had is how they've handled Mozzie throughout the season. Making a guy drop 10% of his body weight.
The biggest question mark. I really want to know what the hell happened there.
Yeah. I don't think we'll ever truly know.
There's things that have been said, but I don't know if if it's the only thing, right? Like there's got to be something else to going from 335 to 290ish. That's just wild to me.
Yeah, you're more connected than me, so you will find out things well before I'll know.
It's flat. I don't know why nobody asked the question. If I was at that presser at the end of the season, I'm flat out asking, hey, what's up with this Mozzie Smith, losing 30, 40 damn pounds? Like, whose idea was that? Or if it wasn't somebody's idea, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that'll probably come up. That'll probably be a big question. You know, when Jerry and Steven get back on their radio commitments, because that didn't come out until week 18, like 2 days before the Washington game.
Nah, I think it was a little. It wasn't later in the season. It was right. It was a little later in the season.
Yeah. Like I'm talking about like the last game of the season, Washington game that he lost that much weight.
Sure. Yeah.
But yeah, man, that's making a guy who was drafted with the purpose of being, you know, a wall at one tech and making him be 3 tech size is I hope that there's a true purpose behind it. Yeah, that's the best way that I'll say it without being derogatory.
Yeah. We'll see. Hopefully for all these guys, this whole entire class, the year 2 jump is huge, at least for a few of them. If not, this could, I don't want to say set you back, but it could be a detriment moving forward. But hey, appreciate you, B. Good call as always when you call in. I really enjoy talking to you.
Always, Scott. Always, man. You are a star in this scene, bro.
Man.
This is nothing but success, bro.
I'm just Sky. But appreciate you, man. That's Brandon from Frankly Football. Make sure y'all check out. It's Frankly Football on YouTube, right?
Yes, sir.
There you go. Frankly Football on YouTube. Check him out.
Peace.
Man, I just happened to go back. I thought the Marvion Overshown was smaller than this. Checked in at the combine at 6'3", 229. I for some odd reason thought he was 220. And maybe he dropped that weight once he got to camp. But if he continues to fill up, and that's what happens with these guys, these long linear type of dudes with those type of genetics, he fills up and he stays at a solid 230. Hell, if he's truly 229, and he ain't gonna put on 5 pounds, and you're a typical linebacker in today's game. But if the Marvion Overshown is 6'3", 230, 235, I mean that'll work, especially for a Will backer. But he's a longer, taller guy, so it doesn't look. If he was 5'11", 230, it would look more like Perryman or something like that. But he's longer dude, so maybe 235 would be better for him. And I think he will. I think he will beef up for sure. He ain't got nothing but the time now to be in the weight room, rehabbing and whatnot. Now, maybe he'll lose a little weight, though, because he's not able to do a whole lot because of the knee. But off-season peanut butter, I can see Demo getting up to 230 plus. I can see that happen. No, I'm not saying Demo for the Mike TC915. See, we so infatuated with Mike linebacker, not get it. We definitely do, though. We forget, you need like 3 of them. You know what I'm saying? You need the other guy. You need the Greenlaw. You need the Patrick Queen, et cetera, et cetera. You give me a Mike and you got Demo. Maybe 2024 he ain't that Demo, but for the future, that's a fun thought process. Patrick Queen, it took him to get a guy like Roquan Smith to really break out. So, yeah. All right, let me read this super chat real quick. We're going to wrap this thing up. I think it was AA Ron that dropped it. Let me refresh it, though. Yep.
Super chat.
Appreciate you. AA Ron dropped 5 and said, do you think not firing DQ but letting him get hired somewhere else is a pinching pennies thing by the Joneses so they don't have to buy him out? Man, fair question, because rich people, they stay rich by doing things like this, right? Ain't no salary cap for coaches. But that's a fair question, man. They might be on some, I'm not paying for a guy who's not on this roster or not roster, but who's not, on this team as a coach, whereas a salary cap, it pays for itself. It ain't really their money, but the coach's money is their money. Man's a billionaire. He tripping about $5 million. I ain't no billionaire, so you could be on to something, Aaron. Maybe you're right. I just think that's crazy. But they don't fire guys. You think about it. The last dude they fired, like a high-ranking coach, if I'm not mistaken, like fired. Offense coordinator, defense coordinator. head coach was like Wade, wasn't it? Oh, you know they wasn't going to fire their stepchild, Kellen Moore. Oh, no. Mutually parted ways. I'm going to do that. Didn't have the balls to fire McCarthy. Or Dan Quinn, for that matter. Jason Garrett. No, what let me say. Jason Garrett's their stepchild. Kellen Moore is their grandchild. We didn't fire Jason Garrett. Oh, contract ran out. We're going to go elsewhere. Jason Garrett could have got fired 3-4 times. And he didn't do it. So, could be. But it's kind of wild. You a billionaire. Instead of making a move that you think can improve your team, we saying nah because we don't want to pay the $3, $4, $5 million. And that's nothing to me. Right? And I say me, I mean I'm Jerry Jones. That's nothing. Crazy. Rolo, why would you do that? Rolo said, it would be funny if we made McCarthy take Kellen Moore again. Yo, if they did that, McCarthy has to quit. He has to quit. Like, there's no way you can do that. You want to talk about being unsullied. That's disrespect right there. Hey, you know what, McCarthy? We're going to bring back Kellen Moore. That'd be wild. But there you have it, Cowboys Nation. Cowboys free agents play a little game of
Run that back, Turbo.
Or
No.
make it more fairly smooth. Like I said to my guy Mel, I said to you guys to start this whole thing, I really don't think there's these crazy decisions to be made this year. I can't remember who was all free agent last year when we did this, but yeah, I don't think you're really sweating any of these dudes except maybe Tyron. Like I said, because you could potentially just say whatever off Tyron, and now you kind of box yourself into the position. But yeah, I think the Cowboys are in a good spot with their guys, and I don't think any of these dudes are going to cost you an arm and a leg. Nope. Not at all. And for those who may have not been here when we did this exercise, it's very simple. It's just yes or no on a return. There was some details and nuance to it in regards to if this guy returns, we got this guy, et cetera, et cetera. But there's so much more that's going to go into it. We made it very simple today. You got the draft coming up, all that stuff. So there's obviously, if you sign a guy, there's still draft. If you don't sign a guy, there's still draft. There's free agency, which we'll get to. And a lot of the reason why, to be honest with y'all, some of these dudes I was like, no, because I looked in the free agent market and I'm like, shit, I'd rather go there. Let's do that. So we'll do a free agent primer. Monday, we'll be back tomorrow, by the way. Tomorrow we'll have Pat on. I'm not sure Monday or Tuesday. I'm talking to Foots. We'll have the Foot show where we're talking about the Senior Bowl. So we got a Senior Bowl watch list. We're trying to get a top 10. The Foot's having a tough time narrowing it down. And I can dig it. There's a lot of guys there. So maybe we'll just talk about some of the guys at Senior Bowl that we're looking forward to seeing. And I'm going to try to get another guest on from the Senior Bowl. So we working, man. Working for y'all. All right. With that said, really good show today. I will be back tomorrow. And we're going to keep this thing moving, man. Season may be over, but y'all know here we 52 weeks out of the season. Pretty much. Out of the year, I'm sorry. We always work. All right.
Push the goddamn button. Push the goddamn button.
Mom Duke's in the building. This turned into a good one. A lot of good feedback on these free agents. Appreciate y'all. Good calls. Thank you for the donations today. I'll check y'all out tomorrow. And then next week we back. Me and Vach. Can't wait, man. We out here.
Bomb Squad!